Storm prep.
All right, moving along at an easy, steady pace. Sussex County, north on Route 13 from Delmar up to Seaford and up to Bridgeville. Looks like an earlier accident in Seaford, Norman Esquich Highway, and Chandler Street in the clearing stages. 113 moving along from Milford down to Georgetown. A little bit of crowd on Route 9 and 44 through Georgetown. Also a little heavy at Harbison, starting to see that happening. And Millsboro actually kind of quiet on 113 and 24 for now, and good go on Route 1 from Fenwick to Bethany to Rehoboth and Lewis good. Traveling along in Worcester County, Route 50 and 92 and from Ocean City fine. 589 good through Ocean Pines. 113 from Bishopville to Berlin, Newark, Snow Hill, and Pocomoke good. And Wycomico County rolling along on 50 from Willers to Pittsville to Parsonsburg. Bypass around town good and 50 good to the Bay Bridge. That's your traffic for the Voice Radio Network.
Joe Minoso.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, actually, I'm
Hello.
sorry. Nope, Joe Cruz. It's Joe Cruz. I knew you as Joe Cruz. You're my man.
Oh,
good morning.
Either work.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you, sir. How are you doing?
We're great. It's Bill and Jessica Power 1017. I got to tell you, we're huge Chicago Fire fans. I'm a little starstruck.
Yeah, he is. He's like, Joe Cruz. Joe Cruz is calling at 10 a.m. And I was like, well, yesterday was his birthday. We're like, we have to say happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. How did you celebrate?
So much, you guys. Well, please, no need to be starstruck. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm honored.
Yeah, how did you celebrate your birthday? You do anything, or are you like over that? Since you gotten, what are you, 44? We're around the same age.
Yeah, 44. Yeah, I would say definitely a little bit of, I don't really need anything for my birthday, but my wife is incredible and takes care of me. And every morning, every birthday, I wake up to like streamers and like signs and, tons of gifts and stuff. And we had a beautiful dinner, just her and I last night, and we went out to this great little sort of Greek bathhouse place called Air in Chicago. So it was a very relaxing, chill 44th birthday. It's exactly what I needed.
Nice. Very good. Well, congratulations on all the success of Chicago Fire. We love, the Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Med. Chicago Fire was actually the first one that my wife and I started watching a couple years ago when you guys first came on. You recently hit your 200th episode mark. And I mean,
That's amazing.
You're a big role in Chicago Fire, man. Congratulations on all the success. Talk to us a little bit about, what we can look forward to season 11.
Oh God. Well, I think clearly more of the same. More of the same kind of action, more of the same drama, more of the same hot making out scenes with all of these incredibly attractive people. And so it's like, I think in general, season 11, the writers talk a lot about us going back to our roots for this season, because over the course of the last 2 years, clearly after COVID, there were a lot of limitations as to what we could really do.
Right.
So we're really kind of pulling out all the stops. The fires are bigger. The events are greater. The stakes are higher for everybody. But I think, honestly, what I'm most interested in, or what I'm most excited about, is Cruz's journey with this new kid, with Javi, and being able to kind of navigate what its fatherhood looks like, especially when you've brought on this, fully new kid into your lives. And I think that it's been such a great opportunity to sort of highlight an immigrant journey and what the struggles of that can look like. And he's such a great actor to work with. You never know what you're going to get with kids. And he is just really fantastic. And it's been such a joy. So I look forward to more and more of that developing over the year.
Your personality on Chicago Fire, like how I see Joe Cruz on TV, is that kind of are you being, I know you're playing a character, but is that you, in real life? Is that the personality and all that? Or did you have to change? Because us talking to you right now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
You're real cool, down to earth.
yeah, I'm like, holy ish, this is really Joe Cruz talking. Are you? Is that all you 100%?
Well, no. Cruz is way braver than I am. He cries more than I do. And he is way more giving. I'm a little bit more to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, the guy is a real like heart on his sleeve guy, and just such a noble human being, and just cares so much for the people in his life. And I do too. But I think it would be folly to say that every actor doesn't bring some part of themselves to a role.
Now, what makes Chicago Fire
doing it? It's hard to tell where one begins and the other one ends at this point.
Right.
I think that there are definitely parts of me in Cruz, and there are parts of Cruz in me. But I would say our biggest difference is that I'm not jumping in the fire ever.
Right.
To save any, that's just not who I'm going to be. Like that guy, he's like, we play fearless people, and I am definitely a chicken when it comes to a lot of that stuff.
Well, what's so great about the show Chicago Fire and all the Chicago series, but particularly you guys, is that it really goes through, like, I feel like it's like real life experiences, even though it's a show. But I mean, like, each firefighter in the house, they have different personalities, but it's not like something that could be like, oh, it's unrealistic. Like, you guys are real human beings. It goes through, you and meeting, with your wife and getting married, and now have, her having the kid, and just all of it. Like, you can kind of relate to, if like somebody sits down and watches that show, you're relating to someone. I mean, it's not like this show where it's like too unreal, and it really, depicts like what a real fire department goes through. And I mean, it's just great, man. We love it. So.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Yeah, no, we love it too, and it's, as somebody who's been here as long as I've been here, there's been so many changes in the firehouse in terms of personnel or cast, if you will.
Yeah.
And some of those sting more than others when you have to say goodbye to people like, Yuri, who played Otis, who's one of my greatest friends ever. And to not have him around set every day, there's still days where I go by, oh my God, where is he? But in terms of the relatability, I think you're right. We got really lucky early on. I think the casting department did an exceptional job of like really sort of giving you a blanket of what the world looks like, and being able to give you enough characters that everyone feels like they have someone they can relate to. And then also, you have Taylor's app, which is amazing to, watch anytime you get that opportunity. But we're really lucky because I think as firefighters, I think the great thing that sets us apart from the other One Chicago shows, nothing against them, they're also fantastic, is that we are firefighters, and because of that, firefighters experience a lot of downtime alone in their firehouse, alongside their fellow firefighters, and that leads to a lot of ridiculousness and hilarity, and it really breaks the ice and the tension, because it's really the only way that these guys know how to let go of some of the things that they've seen throughout their lives and what they see on these calls. They experience things they experience some of the most horrific things humans could ever imagine. And so they need to be able to decompress somehow. And I think that's what our show really sort of shows. I think it gives you the moments in between the fires and how important those are for these people as humans. And I think that's why we connect. Right?
Absolutely.
It's all about human stories and like how we overcome the everyday pitfalls of life. And so that's what I think we try to do on Fire.
Joe Minoso, a.k.a. Joe Cruz, Chicago Fire. It premiered last week. So Wednesday, September the 21st, 9 o'clock on NBC. Season 11, of course. You can also check out all the reruns. Go back and watch all the other seasons up on Peacock. Joe Minoso, thank you so much for checking in. We appreciate it.
While you're drinking your pumpkin spice coffee and eating that pumpkin